Hi, my narcissistic abuse family. I have a pretty awesome topic today. It's a little off the beaten path, but I could not wait to share this with you all because it has impacted me in such a positive, profound way. So, if you watched my last video about spiritual sabotage, you know that I am very receptive now to spirituality and different different paths to healing. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, autoimmune disease, back in 2000. It was right before I turned 21, worst time possible. But ironically, it was when I started to find my autonomy in the world. And I find this so fascinating because several other people that I have spoken to, kind of compared notes with, have, I should say, were afflicted or diagnosed with a medical condition at the same point in their lives during college or around the time where you become a young adult. And the narcissistic origins that we came from are essentially losing their grip on us, and we are able to free ourselves from the toxicity and negativity that we have been surrounded by our entire upbringing. So I thought that was so interesting. But in efforts to overcome my physical situation, I have really committed myself to emotional, spiritual, physical healing. Every level, I'm coming at it from every angle possible. And I actually put the link in that video about, so that's our son, Joey, back there, and he passed away in 2013. And that really compelled me to immerse myself in spirituality and kind of break away from the constraints of the organized religion that was imposed upon me growing up. I have said this. I was raised Catholic and I'm still Catholic. I'm not practicing so much, but we are raising our children in the Catholic faith. No disrespect. I have nothing bad to say about the Catholic faith other than the fact that my narcissistic mother truly exploited it to maintain control and dominance over myself, the family, everyone. So, getting back to, so when Joey passed, the only thing that gave me consolation, I guess, or some sort of sanity at that time was the Long Island Medium was big, and I binge watched every episode. And just the thought that I could still be in contact with my son was everything to me. So I've seen numerous mediums, and my favorite one that I linked in the video I did about spiritual sabotage is Gina Marie DeLuca. She's amazing, and I truly love her. She really, one of the things that she told me was that your spiritual body is so much stronger than your physical body. So the impact of narcissistic abuse on our spiritual beings has caused us so much suffering, be it physical, mental, emotional. It's endless. So where I'm going with this is I follow Aaron Doughty. If you haven't followed him, he's very good in terms of a spiritual awakening and helping you to navigate through that. And he posted something about manifesting or the law of attraction, and that is a big one for people these days. Everyone's talking about attracting what you want in your life, the law of attraction, this, that, the other thing. This drives me bonkers because essentially, my interpretation, it's like another way of blaming me for my circumstances. Why am I disabled? I'm obviously not manifesting properly. I'm not thinking properly. I'm attracting the negative into my life. I don't believe in my healing and my strength and, whatever, that endless thing. So anyway, Aaron posted something about the law of attraction and manifesting. And I was just in a bad place that day. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, this is making me insane. And this wonderful girl responded to me, Jess, and she is a part of what is it called? Radiant Revival Healing is what they do. And it's such a gift. I truly have the utmost respect and appreciation for people that are gifted with this receptivity to spirituality and higher beings. So Jess reached out and she said, I might be able to help you. We went back and forth, and I did end up booking a session. And I am thrilled that I did that. That's what this video is about. So I printed off something from their website. I hope I am relaying this information accurately. I'm going to post a link to the website in the description anyway, so hopefully I won't butcher any of this. But basically, she says her name is Jess, and she has a partner, Nick, and together they are Radiant Revival Healing. They guide people in returning to the highest version of themselves by changing perceptions, belief systems, and breaking through old cycles. They share the gifts of natural healing through the divine source of unconditional love with those that feel a calling for their offerings. They're certified theta healing practitioners. Jess was trained at the Theta Healing Institute. I won't get into that. You can check it out on the website. They're based in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm in New Jersey, so we ended up doing this virtually. It was no less impactful. It was really a pivotal point for me, and that's why I'm sharing this information with you guys. Part of my journey in overcoming narcissistic abuse, I've really committed myself to subconscious toxic belief systems. And growing up in a narcissistic environment, it's drilled into you that you're bad, you should worry about everyone else before you worry about yourself, and a host of other bad beliefs that are drilled into us. And I absolutely have them. It has caused, being self-conscious, self-doubt. A lot of bad things are rooted in these toxic belief systems. And I feel that I have struggled with kind of accessing these belief systems, this programming, and being able to rewrite it, because that's essentially what we need to do. We need to believe in ourselves, self-love, and commit ourselves to reparenting, basically, because we were not given the unconditional love and nurturing as children. Up until the age of 7, we are in a theta brainwave state. I say this often because I think it's really fascinating, actually. I have an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old right now, and I see it. When children are born up until approximately the age of 7, as their parents, we're their world, they're caretakers. So everything we do and say and the way that we treat them and everything we surround them with becomes ingrained within their belief systems. And if, as in our cases, we were told that we were bad and the narcissistic parent is always the focus, we were forced to be codependent, and we were made to believe all of these adversive thoughts. So up until the age of 7, everything that we throw at these kids or surround them with, they absorb it like little sponges. And in order to remedy the repercussions of this toxic treatment, this abuse, we have to access the subconscious. So I'm always doing binaural beat meditations. When you meditate, you get in the theta brainwave state. Also, right before you fall asleep and right before you wake up in the morning, you're in a theta brainwave state. So you're also receptive at those times. But what Jess did was theta healing. So essentially, it's accessing those toxic belief systems that have repeated themselves throughout my life. And I'll just share with you, I asked her for some notes because it was so helpful to me. It really was. And if you guys are interested in this, definitely check out their website. She's also on Instagram. You could contact her that way. I'm so appreciative. I'm so grateful that she reached out, and I'm so grateful that I booked this session because I've noticed a difference since then. It's been a week since I did it. So this is also taken directly from their website. It says the human brain operates in 5 different brainwave frequency ranges: delta, gamma, alpha, beta, and theta. By accessing the theta brainwave, you open a gateway to memory and intuition, withdrawing from the outside world and focusing within. This allows for deeper understanding of trauma, origins of emotions, belief systems, and repetitive cycles. When you remove limiting belief systems and pockets of trauma through the theta healing modality, you're able to deeply heal on all levels: mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. That's a little background. Check out their website if you are interested in more information. It was so good, you guys. I needed it so much. It was so impactful in terms of my healing and moving forward. So just to share with you a little of my session, so you have an idea. So just did an initial body scan of me to see what information she was able to obtain, and she was able to identify several core beliefs and feelings that I was possessing. The beliefs that I am forgotten, that I am small, I am isolated, and I am separated from God and love. Absolutely, 100% that is accurate. But again, these things are subconscious, so they're not like easily accessible, like at the forefront of your mind. You're not able to just sit back and be like, oh yeah, that's my problem. Like, this is subconscious beliefs that are embedded in our psyche. So this is adversely working against us and our healing, and our well-being. So these are things that needed to be addressed, identified and addressed. So one of the core themes of this session was the isolation that I felt during childhood and the emotional and physical manifestations of this. The child version of me felt alone in the world and abandoned. I was longing for nurturing. I felt as though there was something wrong with me. I believed I was inherently bad and that I was a burden. The circumstances in which I was raised led me to feel as though love was conditional and dependent on my athletic and academic performance. These things were internalized in such a way I began to believe that I'm unworthy of love and support and all things related. I eventually developed a feeling of not being able to. This is so interesting. I found this, like, I surprised myself, during the session. Jess was asking me questions and I was responding, and I was surprising myself with some of the things that I said that I was unaware of otherwise. I said that I could not stand it anymore, feeling like I was carrying the weight of the world. I can't stand right now. Isn't that so interesting? The language that I used to convey those feelings. And when you're brought up in a narcissistic home with the toxicity, you just feel so oppressed and you just feel so heavy and, cloaked with shame and guilt and everything else that your narcissistic parent dumps on you. And something that we talked about during my session that, again, I surprised myself. So up until around the age of 9, I played soccer and I was really, really good. I was on the traveling team. I was the star forward. I was in the newspaper all the time. I was always getting goals and, all the glory. So around that time, I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, it got to be so consuming. The way sports can be. It's just so invasive in your life. And I was a kid, I just wanted a break. I wanted to hang out and have friends and have fun. And, practice was consuming every weekend during the week. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And, I got a lot of kickback from the toxic duo. But finally, they relented because you can't make somebody do something physically that they don't want to do. Parents have a lot of uncontested control over their children, but something in that nature, like playing a sport, I just didn't want to do it. I was done. So they let me quit, and I felt it's like they didn't love me. I took away their glory, all the glory all the attention I was getting from being the star forward and everything. They loved that. They fed off of that because my narc mother, she siphons, narcissistic parents siphon all the attention from you onto themselves, and that's how they get their narcissistic supply. And the enabler, inverted narcissistic father, was equally pleased by the whole situation because the narc was happy, everybody was happy, I was serving my purpose. And anyway, so definitely, my stopping playing soccer was a pivotal point, critical point during my childhood where I really felt the rejection and the conditions of my love or attention or nurture. I never received nurturing, that was evident. But anyway, I'm telling you guys, this session was really awesome. I'm kind of like a infomercial right now, I guess, but I am all about sharing anything that is, I feel, is a worthy healing modality, and this absolutely was. This helped me tremendously. So if you feel like you're stuck with toxic core beliefs and you want desperately to access them and to change them, you should definitely do this. Contact Jess at Theta Healing. I was going to tell you guys as well that some of the beliefs that I was holding was that I'm unable to protect or stand up for myself. I had no healthy borders or positive associations. There was a cycle of emotional dissociation and detachments. Like they say, it's generational abuse, which I absolutely see, where it came from. It's like the whole extended family there. They're all living testaments to, where it's come from and why it keeps perpetuating. So, I don't want to keep going on about my own session. I don't want to bore you, but it was super awesome. Jess was awesome. This was a great way to access the toxic beliefs that are instilled within us during our narcissistic upbringing in this toxic unit. I hope you guys, I wish you all the best in your healing journey, and anything I find, I'm definitely going to share it with you. I'm going to do another video. I got a weighted blanket. There's actual science behind that, why it helps you to kind of get out of the fight or flight feeling that is constant within us because of our toxic upbringing. Anyway, this ended up being super long, but I love you all, and thank you for tuning in. Please please subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified of my new videos. I try to do one Monday, one Friday every week. But we're bumped and we're bruised, but more than anything, we are blessed because we're navigating through this toxic abuse that was imposed upon us, and we're better people because of it. We have deeper appreciation and compassion for others. So I'll see you guys soon. Love you all.